If you don't care about having edges, do whatever you want to do. I really don't care. It is time to fire them and hire another one. You might have to cut a lot of hair off. You might not have to. So
Can you play that again? Can you play that
welcome
again?
back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going over 5 things that I wish I knew before I started my hair journey. If I knew these things, I would have been able to grow my hair so much more faster, so much more healthier if only I had these things in my mind. I feel like usually when we're starting our hair journey, especially from the time when we go from our parents taking care of our hair to us taking care of our hair on our own, that's usually when things go left. That's when we get to experiment and we get to trying different hair colors. We don't keep up with our hair as much as our parents might have, or maybe our parents actually never really took care of our hair the way that we should have. So it's all a learning experience. And at the end of the day, you can only do the best you can do with the knowledge that you have at the moment. So as a teenager, we were more focused on trying different hair colors, bleaching our hair, having a lot of braids, box braids. It was a lot going on. So let's unpack these things because I'm about to send y'all on y'all way. It's the beginning of 2026 and we not wasting no time with growing our hair, okay? We're about to get to it. So the first thing that I wish I knew is that you need to stick to the basics. Less is more, okay? When I tell you we stress our hair out so much when we try to do any and everything to it. When you stick to doing mainly middle parts over side parts, you are choosing health. When you think about it, when you have a side part, you have more edges out on the side that you have to take care of that you want to make sure is laid all the time. So of course, that can lead to more heat damage. Versus if you just have a middle part and you keep your hair wrapped up at night, you won't really have to worry about reflat ironing anything. There's no real edges left out that you have to swoop down or anything. Also, when it comes to braids, less is more. Sometimes having extra small knee length braids is not best for your thinner hair. If you are getting knotless braids and your braider doesn't know about density matching across your edges, then you are going to have a problem. Your hair is going to be more stressed out if it's too much weave added to your natural hair. So less is more when it comes to your braids as well. Sometimes instead of doing so many knotless braids in the front of your hair, you might want to switch to feeder braids. Less braids, less tension. With knotless braids, you have to flip them more. You want to put them up in a ponytail, so that's more manipulation. You want low manipulation hairstyles if you want your hair to grow. If you don't care about having edges, do whatever you want to do. I really don't care. All right. Now let's move on to number 2. You want to have perfect timing for your hairstyles, okay? And when I'm saying this, I'm talking about weeks. You should know exactly how long you should keep a hairstyle in. You don't want to keep a hairstyle in for too long. When I first started my hair journey, I used to keep my braids in for 2 to 3 months. When I first started doing hair, I used to tell my clients that it was okay to keep a sew-in for 3 months. Now, I would never recommend that because usually once the hair grows out that much, you have too much new growth. It's being pulled down in a way. When the hair grows out, it grows down. So if you have a middle part and your hair is growing out too much, guess what? It's going to break off because it's pulling from the root right here. If you also go too long without getting your natural hair done, let's say you know you're supposed to get your natural hair trimmed every 8 to 13 weeks. That gives you 4 trims a year, right? If you go past 13 weeks, you are not on the right path. Honestly, you're just not on the right path. If you are going that long without a trim, you are basically risking all of the new growth that you just saw. You're not going to see no length because now your hair is getting see-through towards the ends. By the time it's time for you to get another silk press, you're about to have to cut off more than what you should have. If you don't know, natural hair grows a half an inch every month. So if you are not taking care of that half an inch that is growing at your roots, guess what? It's going to show on the ends of your hair. Split ends travel up. So as your hair is growing in, the breakage is also going to grow up if you're not taking care of it. If you go too long without a trim, it's going to travel up. If you are on time with your trims, you will have to trim less over time. So keep that in mind. The third thing that I wish that I knew when I started my natural hair journey was to deep condition my hair every time I wash it. Usually I would do it only when I would get a protective hairstyle. I don't even think I was doing it when I was getting a silk press before. It would only be for braids. And once I realized how important it is to keep your hair moisturized and how much of a difference it is, even just to the touch of your hair when your hair is moisturized. Don't skip your moisture treatments. Get you a good moisture treatment. I prefer Matrix Food for Soft. I also really, really like Kenra's Lux Shine Deep Conditioner, I believe it's called. And also, I really like Sacred, the Deep Moisture Mask. So go and grab you some of those. You can find those at Ulta. Also, if you run to Sally's, you can use the Vitamin E Hair Mask by Silk Elements. All right. Also, along with deep conditioning, steam treatments. If you have some type of high porosity hair, even normal porosity hair, low porosity hair, it just depends on how often. High porosity hair does not need to be steam treatment every time you wash it or every other time. You can do that once a month, once every other month. When you have low porosity hair, it needs to be penetrated more deeply. So deep conditioning is cool, but steam treatment is what's really going to open up that hair strand and get that treatment inside of the hair strand. You're going to see such a difference. It's going to feel completely different after you get a steam treatment. So there are two types of steam treatments. You can have one at the bowl, or you can have the overhead steamer, and you can also keep you one at home if you order one on Amazon. For my low porosity girls, steam treatments are a must. A must. Okay, now let's move on to number 4. This was something that I wish all girls knew, and it is getting a proper trim. And when I say a proper trim, a lot of girls start their hair journey off and they literally just want to take off the tiniest bit of hair possible, or they're only taking off the perimeter, but we're not pulling it out at an angle to really get that interior haircut. You have two types of haircuts in a trim, an interior haircut and an exterior haircut. Your exterior haircut is when you're literally doing the perimeter of the hair. That is the ends of the hair. When you are doing an interior haircut, you are pulling the hair out at an angle and cutting it this way. So if your hairstylist is not pulling your hair out at an angle while you're getting a trim, something is wrong, okay? And not only is understanding the interior and exterior important, but also understanding that what you do to the back of the hair, you also must do to the front of the hair. You cannot be scared to cut the bank area of the hair because of what you're trying to keep the length. I'm not sure, but at the end of the day, if you are only cutting the perimeter of your hair in the front, you will always have thinner hair in the front, okay? So make sure your hairstylist is also over directing your hair at the right angle, okay? We're going to go in a detailed video of different levels of over direction to really target what you need to cut off when you're getting a trim. And that video will be mainly for my hairstylist unless I have any clients who are just interested in learning how to cut hair. That video will be coming as well. Now, our last thing that everybody should know when they start their hair journey is that consistency is key and you always have to have a goal in mind. So when I say consistency is key, I mean from the moment you decide to start your hair journey, there is no negotiating with yourself about your hair health. If you know it's time to get a trim, I don't care if you get a silk press 2 days before it's time for you to get some braids or it's time for you to get another sew-in. Get your hair flat ironed and taken care of first. And even once you are on a routine regimen of getting a silk press, then you can graduate to the era of only needing a blow dry. Not every time. I wouldn't recommend a blow dry and trim every time, but it's possible to skip out on a silk press. But when you're first starting your journey, you need a detailed trim, and the only way to truly get a detailed trim is to flat iron your hair at a safe temperature using the proper heat protection tools. So that will be another thing that we will talk about in a product video. So just stay around, y'all. I got videos. We rolling every week now. So just know that we're going through everything that you need to know about keeping up with your hair from top to bottom. All right. And when I say having a goal in mind, I'm not talking about just the length of your hair. I'm talking about the fullness of it, the health of your scalp, your eating habits. It's truly a lifestyle once you start to realize how deep all of your habits go into how your hair turns out. If you are eating shitty every day, it will show in your hair. If you are not getting the proper nutrients, the proper vitamins, it will show in your hair and your scalp and your skin and your nails. Like it all ties into each other. So me personally, my goal for growing my hair is to have thicker hair because I know how easy it is for my hair to get heat damage, and I also know how easy it is to get those hairstyles that cause heat damage. So it's really fighting everything that we grew up doing as children, as teenagers, and really being grown as women about our hair. Honestly, I know it's a lot of women out there who don't mind the heat damage, they don't really care, and that's fine for you. But when it comes down to having true healthy hair, that's the type of things that I'm focused on right now. So, with that being said, keep all 5 of these things in mind if you are just now starting your hair journey out. Always know that less is more. That timing is so important when it comes to what hairstyles you have in at the time. Deep condition your hair every time you wash it. Steam treatments are periodically dependent on your hair porosity. And also, make sure you're getting the proper trim. If you are noticing that your hairstylist is not trimming your hair properly, it is time to fire them and hire another one. All right. And if you can't get in my chair, stay tuned for the video that I have, and maybe you could have somebody learn how to trim hair for you because it's truly not that hard. And the last thing is to be consistent and always have a goal in mind when it comes to your hair, and be comfortable with yourself. When you first starting out your hair journey, it's not going to be an easy experience. You might have to cut a lot of hair off. You might not have to. So just trust yourself, trust your stylist, and keep following my YouTube. Comment below. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. And I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you.
All time to get exposed, gang. Banned from around here, nigga. Come get off your show, savage.